We are talking about what resistance really is. So, super quick, if I am new to you, if you are new to me, I am Libby Bryant. I am a business coach who helps creatives grow their business, thrive, build that dream business that you've always had. So, if you fall into that bucket, you are in the right place. If you are someone who's just interested in resistance and you are not a business owner, this video will still be valuable to you, but you probably aren't going to make sense in my bigger world for long term. But regardless, I am happy that you are here. And it is honestly my biggest pleasure in the whole wide world to help people like you with stuff like this. Because for the longest time, I really struggled in business. I had the hardest time. And over the course of figuring out why and my journey, I learned all of these tools that helped me immensely. And I was like, why did I not know this before now? Why did I have to be in so much struggle to learn these concepts and to learn these tools? And so I am incredibly passionate about passing them on. I am incredibly passionate about helping people like you use these tools and work through them to become happier, more fulfilled, grow your business more easily, hit those big money milestones, all that sort of stuff. So that's why I'm here. That's why this matters to me. So let's get into talking about resistance. So a lot of people think that resistance comes down to just fear. I hear people talk about this a lot. And here is the reality. After working with literally thousands of creative business owners and entrepreneurs and people who want to start businesses who are having trouble getting them started, I have come to realize, and this also is true of myself as well, I have come to realize that fear can be a part of resistance, but it is much more nuanced than that. And it is not always fear that it is at play. So here is what I mean. I got to draw some diagrams here. So I love drawing diagrams because they help things make sense to me. I find that they often help make things make sense for you. So that's why I'm here always with my whiteboard and the diagrams. Okay, so what resistance actually is, because it's not something we see, right? You're not actually bumping up against a brick wall. It's invisible. And some people are bumping up against those walls and other people aren't. So we know that it's self-inflicted. It's inside, right? It's your own resistance on the inside. So where does that come from and what is causing it? Here is what it is at its core. It is conflicting thoughts and emotions in your brain and body. So a very top level lesson, your thoughts that are going on in your brain directly impact your emotions. So those two things are connected. So when you're thinking certain thoughts, it's going to trigger certain emotions. That set of emotions, or also you can think of it as energy, is going to determine your ability or lack of ability to take action. So if we're having a lack of ability to take action, or we keep sabotaging, or we say we're going to do something and then we don't, or all those sorts of types of behavior, what we can trace it back to is our thoughts. Now, when we have this stop and go kind of pull and push energy where we just are stuck, kind of feeling spiraling where we're at, scattered, spinning, that's because there's internal conflict. So internal conflict always comes from conflicted thoughts, because that's the only place that internal conflict could come from, right? So I want to give you some examples so that this makes sense to you. So let's imagine that I gotta draw, this is my classic diagram. I love this one so much. Let's make sure. Okay. So let's say that you are here and you have a desire to let's say this is make more money for you. I'm going to use a money example, okay? So you have a desire to make more money. So the thought that is causing that desire might be, I want more money, right? And this is the symbolic money, okay? So when you have a thought, I want more money, you naturally are going to energetically be pulled to more money. That's naturally going to happen. But now, here's where the conflict comes in. What if you're in a situation where you have a business and the way that you make money is clients? Now let's imagine this. What if you simultaneously have a thought that I can't stand my clients, I don't want anymore? What if your clients are just like a pain in the ass? They're big trouble for you. They're just like cause lots of horribleness. And you're like, I can't have any more of that. Okay. That is then going to cause conflict. Because this thought, I want money, is pulling you towards the money. This thought, at least in your current business setup, is going to be blocking and pushing back that money. I want the money, but I don't want what comes along with the money. There's conflict there, right? That will create resistance. That will put you in a situation where you're not doing the things to make more money because you actually are conflicted. Those thoughts are at odds with one another. So in this case, it's not necessarily a fear thing. There's resistance there. There's a reason that you're not taking the action to get more money, but it's not necessarily fear. So let's look at another one. Let's take it like a lot more like micro. Would that be the right term? Let's say it's just making a post on social, right? So I don't know, post. Okay, so you're gonna have a thought. I want to post, and you'll have a reason why, right? Like, I want to grow my business. Okay, so that is an energy that's pulling you towards the action of posting. I want to post. I want to grow my business. That's energetically pulling you towards that action. What happens if you're simultaneously thinking, I'm afraid, I'm going to put, my mom will judge me. Maybe your mom hates people that market themselves on social media and she's always talking about how annoying they are. And you're like, I don't want my mom to judge me. I don't want my mom to think that I'm lame. I don't want my mom to hate me. I want my mom to love me. And so this thought is going to actually energetically stop you. It's going to be like, hold up. We are not doing that. We are not doing anything that's going to cause our mom to judge us or hate us or disown us. We are not doing that. And before you know it, you have energetically a thought that is pushing up against that desire. And it is this right here, this conflict and tension that is causing the resistance. It's this pushback that is the resistance. And this feels crappy in your body. It feels incredibly crappy in your body. It's really a big energy drain. It feels like your body is kind of always in turmoil, and it feels like you aren't fully in control of yourself. It feels like you want to do things, but then you can't physically make yourself. It's really very horrible. And I know all of this because I've been there. Okay? So if this is what actually causes resistance, If it is actually two opposing thoughts, then the question becomes, well, how do we deal with it? And here is the answer. The way that you deal with it is to address and dissolve the thought that is causing the resistance. So let me get another color here. I know I said I was going to make this video really short, and I am going to make it as short as possible, but I want to make sure that I get you all the information that you need because that is super important to me. So this thought that is the thought that's actually causing the resistance, if that thought and the emotions and the energy that it was causing wasn't there at all, there would be no resistance. For example, if you wanted to post to grow your business and your mom wasn't even on social media and it was a non-issue and you had no thoughts about reasons to not post on social media, there would be no resistance and you would go ahead and do it. So what you need to do in order to dissolve this resistance is address the thought that is blocking you, that is pushing back, and shift it. And this goes into thought work, working with your brain on a deeper issue. A deeper level. There was a time when we had no idea that our brains just totally cut me off. There was a time when we had no idea that our brains were flexible, that our brains were plastic, as they call it, neuroplasticity. We now know that you can rewire your brain. You can isolate specific thoughts and you can rewire them on purpose. Some are easier than others, depending on your history and your conditioning and all those things. But it is absolutely possible to rewire thoughts and have totally different thoughts replace them. So I'm going to use one more example as we're talking through this. Let's say, let's say that you are in a situation where you want to build your dream business. Let's say that there is certain vision that you have about what that business looks like, the kind of money it makes, how you spend your days, the kind of work you do, the clients you work with, all of this. It's like this beautiful, yummy vision that maybe you've had for a really long time and it feels so good, but yet you've had all this resistance to it. So there is this desire. So the desire is always there, right? The desire, as we did before, thought, there's this desire for blank. So there's this, you have thoughts about all these things that you want and emotions that go along with those, right? There's these emotions of desire, of longing, of excitement, of all this stuff. Maybe it's even peace and calm or whatever. Now, let's say that simultaneously you have a thought. I'm going to make this up. Let's say that you have a thought, you are a web designer, making this up, and you have a thought that my work isn't that special. I don't do anything special. I don't do anything unique. Okay, so then you have this other thought, which is coming out of your brain, thought, my work isn't special. And that honestly often comes along with, why would anybody pay me? Why can I charge money for this? It's not that big of a deal. That is going to cause resistance Now imagine if you were able to isolate this thought, so identify what's blocking you, causing the resistance, and work with this thought to rewire it so that you actually stopped thinking, my work isn't special, nobody wants it, and really honestly at your core started to believe in your heart of hearts for real that what I do is valuable, what I do is important, people want it, people want to pay for it. There are people that come to me for something special and unique. I am really good at these specific things and other people aren't. That would change everything. That would not only remove this resistance, that would all of a sudden give you a whole thought bank. Shouldn't use red anymore. That would give you a whole thought bank that would actually create more energy and momentum towards the goal. Things like, my work is valuable, people want it, people want to pay me for it, I do this in a way that nobody else can, all of that kind of stuff. If we were to rewire that thought so you actually believe these other things, you would not only remove the resistance, but you would create all this amazing energy and momentum to move you towards your dream business with so much more ease. You would be like not pushing up against this like hard blocked energy all the time, and it would be flow, right? It would be excitement, it would be flow. Not only would you move a lot more easily, but the results would happen a lot more easily for you. So, in order to dissolve and remove this resistance, you absolutely have to work with those thoughts that are getting in the way. And they can be thoughts that have to do with self-doubt and fear and all that sort of stuff, but they also can be thoughts that show up and look really logical. They look like logical thinking, but they're just getting in your way, and we need to look at those, and we need to address them, and we need to remove them and dissolve them and rewire them into something significantly more productive. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I hope it helped you understand what resistance actually is. Be on the lookout for me sharing some more tools about how to actually do this, because it is what I help my clients with. Like I said, it is one of the biggest joys that I have, to be able to walk people through this process of doing this and watching them turn from someone who is up against all of this just invisible brick wall energy to feeling like they feel lighter, they feel more energetic, and things just kind of start clicking and they gain all this momentum. That is my favorite thing in the whole world to watch. So if you are interested in that, I will be sharing more via email about how that can happen for you. All right. Have a wonderful day.